You will not believe what happened to me one blistering Saturday morning. The kind of heat that presses down on your shoulders and makes you feel like you're swimming through the air. I just thrown on some cutoff shorts and a loose tank top. Nothing fancy, just the kind of outfit that lets you survive a summer morning, and stepped outside to water my little patch of hydrangeas. The sprinkler system had been on the fritz again, so I grabbed the hose, let it unravel across the lawn, and started soaking the thirsty plants, humming a little to myself as the sunlight beat down on my back. I was halfway into my Zen moment when a voice, sharp, piercing, the kind that makes your blood pressure spike, shattered the calm. Excuse me. What do you think you're doing? I froze. That tone could belong to only one person. Across the street, striding with all the confidence of someone wielding an invisible scepter, was Linda Harper, self-appointed queen of our neighborhood, president of the Homeowners Association, and apparently the enforcer of some unwritten code about decency. She marched straight across my lawn, clutching a thick folder like it was a sword or a badge of authority, and pointed at me. This is completely inappropriate. Cover yourself immediately. For a moment, I just stood there, hose dangling in my hand, blinking at her. I'm on my own lawn, Linda, I said slowly, emphasizing her name like it carried weight. Please step off my property. I will not, she snapped, voice rising. As HOA president, I have every right to enforce community standards, and you are in violation. Her face was crimson, her hands trembling as she jabbed at her folder like it was the Bible itself. Now I've lived in Maplewood Heights for 4 years, and it had been a quiet, friendly neighborhood before she came along. HOA dues were reasonable people, organized block parties and summer barbecues, and everyone minded their own business. But 6 months ago, Linda Harper ran for president, promising to restore community standards. She plastered flyers, held endless meetings, and bullied her way into the role, and suddenly the neighborhood felt like a courtroom, with her as the overzealous judge. Lawns half an inch too long, trash cans out 12 hours late, nothing escaped her scrutiny. And then, of course, came me. I had politely declined her invitation to join her so-called beautification committee, which everyone knew was just a club for gossiping and keeping tabs on neighbors she didn't like. After that, I started noticing her staring at me from her porch whenever I went outside in shorts and a tank. Her husband mowed their lawn shirtless, but apparently my modest sleeveless top was a capital offense. I tried ignoring it for weeks, muttering to myself when she made passive-aggressive comments. Some of us prefer to dress appropriately in public. Or, it's a shame when people don't respect the neighborhood's image. I kept walking, thinking, let her stew. But that Saturday, she decided whispers weren't enough. She came straight at me, the folder in her hand, a smug confidence radiating off her like perfume. Your attire, she hissed, her eyes narrowing, is bringing down property values and setting a terrible example for the children of this neighborhood. The HOA has standards and you will comply. I took a breath, trying to keep it calm. Linda, I appreciate your concern, but there's nothing in the HOA bylaws about what homeowners wear on their own property. I've read them thoroughly. She smirked, flipped out her phone, and began filming me. I'm documenting this violation, she said, like she was Sherlock Holmes at a crime scene. This footage will be presented at the next board meeting when we vote on the dress code amendment I'm proposing. I stepped back, keeping my voice level. You're trespassing and filming me without consent. Leave now. I have every right to be here. I'm conducting official HOA business, she said, jabbing at a highlighted paragraph in her folder. Section 7, paragraph 2. She claimed it allowed board members access to private property for inspections. I calmly corrected her. That section refers to common areas only, and inspections require prior notice. It does not give you the right to walk onto private property whenever you want. I could feel the tension coiling in the air, but I held my ground. Now I'm asking you one more time, leave. She tilted her head, lips curling in a challenge. Or what are you going to call the police on me? Do you even know who my husband is? He's friends with the police chief. And that was it. Without missing a beat, I pulled my phone from my pocket. Yes, actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do, I said, dialing 911 and starting to record. Her eyes widened, disbelief flashing across her face, as if no one in her entire reign as HOA president had ever dared defy her. When the dispatcher answered, I explained the situation calmly. Yes, I have someone trespassing who refuses to leave despite multiple requests. She's being aggressive and I feel threatened. Linda, meanwhile, planted herself like a statue of defiance, ranting about decency, waving her phone around, recording everything as though the police would miraculously side with her. 10 minutes later, the patrol car arrived and two officers stepped out surveying the scene. Linda's voice shifted instantly to sugary tones as she greeted them. "I'm Linda Harper, president of the HOA," she said proudly, gesturing toward me. "I'm conducting official business against this resident who is violating community standards." I held out my phone with the footage. The officers watched for a moment, faces saying it all. "Ma'am," one said, "regardless of your HOA position, you cannot remain on private property after being asked to leave. That's trespassing." Her jaw dropped, "But I'm the HOA president. The HOA has authority. The HOA does not override state law," the female officer added firmly. "Set the phone down and place your hands behind your back." For the next few minutes, she shrieked and flailed, clutching her precious folder like it was sacred scripture. The officers calmly restrained her, read her Miranda rights, and led her to the patrol car, while neighbors gathered phones out, some smiling, others shaking their heads in disbelief. 3 days later, I got a call Linda had been charged with criminal trespass, harassment, and disorderly conduct, facing fines and community service. The HOA held an emergency meeting and suspended her presidency. Local papers ran her photo handcuffed, still clutching the folder, and her real estate firm immediately placed her on administrative leave. I saw her at the courthouse for her preliminary hearing, her face twisted with rage and humiliation. "You ruined my life over a stupid shirt," she hissed. The judge raised her bail by $500 on the spot. I walked out, hose in hand, feeling a mix of disbelief and satisfaction, realizing some people just have to learn the hard way that power does not make them untouchable, especially not when the law and the community are watching. So what do you think? Was I overreacting by calling the cops? Or was this finally the wake-up call our neighborhood needed? Drop your thoughts below, share your experiences with HOA drama, and let's talk about where the line really is between community standards and personal rights.